Morning, YouTube. Dan Bort here, getting ready to roll out for work in the morning. Figure I'd cut a quick video here, so don't mind any noises that are happening while I'm in here, or me looking around or whatnot. I am driving. Figured this might be a good chance to I don't know, just say good morning to everybody. Hopefully everybody's going to have a great day today. I will be uploading, if you haven't already seen it, I haven't uploaded my vlog yet. If you haven't seen it, that means I haven't uploaded my vlog from last night, but this is just kind of like a morning quick little shout out to kind of talk about technology. So I cut this vlog last night. You can see it in the list, in my video list. Sorry for the bouncing around a little bit. You can see it in the video list. And I right now am recording all of my videos on my iPhone. iPhone's got a great camera. I have an iPhone 6S. It's provided by my work, so I don't have to pay extra for it. It's one of those things where it comes in really handy. I don't have to worry about paying for it at this point. So I'm cutting all my videos on that right now. I have some kind of cameras at home that I hope to be able to tinker with soon. Actually, I only have like one real camera that I got for Christmas. It's a Logitech C920 HD webcam, but I haven't connected that up to my computers yet, so I haven't done any videos with those yet. So I'm doing everything on my iPhone. And here's my situation. My mobile device is an Apple device. My work device is a Windows device. And at home, I predominantly run Linux. I'm an open source advocate. I love the Linux platform. I love it because I can get it for free or very low cost. I can give money if I feel it's worth it, instead of having to buy it to, get it first to try it. So with Linux, it's almost like you can try it, and if you like it, you can keep using it. In most cases, you can use it for free. And in almost all cases, there's a way for you to donate. So you can download it, install it, run it, play with it for a little bit. And if you happen to like the version of Linux that you're running, there's multiple ways to donate into the Linux ecosystem itself, or generally speaking, you can donate directly to the specific distribution of Linux that you are using. And I plan on doing a video on Linux, kind of like a beginner's guide to Linux. I've been using Linux off and on as my main operating system at home, probably going on 15 years. I am by no means an expert admin. I've used it primarily for just trying to get stuff done at home. I dabble with installing different things. I've dabbled in the past with doing some of the administrative functions. I'm starting to get much more into the administrative functions of Linux. So I'm hoping to do a series of videos on my journey with Linux up until now, to kind of give a preface of where I've come from, and then maybe take you guys through my journey with Linux as we go forward. And any other operating system. I have a whole story about Windows that I'm going to tell in a follow-up vlog. Anyway, just kind of a quick morning shout. Technology. So, Apple phone, Windows on my laptop for work, Linux at home on my main rig, 3 machines home that are running Windows, 2 are running Windows 10, 1's still running Windows 7. Long story, not going into it right now. What I found was that it is not very easy. A lot of these systems don't talk well amongst one another. Linux, I'll give Linux this. Linux tries the best to communicate with the other operating systems as best as it can. The issue boils down to the fact that Linux isn't, for the most part, Linux and all of the software that comes alongside Linux is open source. Not all of it is open source. I'll preface that now, but a majority of it's open source, which means not necessarily that it's free. Free as in not paying for it, but it's free as in that it's open. And what that means is that if you're not familiar with what open source is, the code is available for you to look at, right? So when a piece of software is written, hardware drivers are written, whatever, with Linux, you can actually go and look at the source code, which means anybody can go look at the source code and audit that source code. By auditing, I mean look at the source code, look for bugs, look for weird things that are going on in there, look for malicious things that are going on in there. It's done that way specifically for a number of reasons. One of it's for auditability, so that the source code is open so that people can look at it and check to make sure that things aren't going to go all wonky or haywire on you. Another reason open source is good is because with open code, people who are aspiring programmers can get into projects that they like, find pieces of open source software that do what they want to do in a language that maybe they want to learn, and they can go through that code and see how that particular programmer built the pieces and put the pieces together to make that code work, to make that code do what they wanted it to do. So it's a good learning tool. Another reason open source is good is, especially in terms of a lot of the open source software that you have now with GitHub and whatnot, is if you find a piece of software that you like, and let's say you want to make an improvement to it, and you submit that improvement back to the maintainer of that software, and they say, I can't get around to it, it's not high on my priority list, I've got X, Y, and Z that I have to do before that, it's going to take me a couple years to get to it, because a lot of these are small projects. Generally with open source software, you could do what's called fork, which means you could take that open source code, and as long as you maintain in the source code itself the copyright of the original writer, you can modify that code and make it do what you want to do using that code as your base, right? So it allows for expandability and feature enhancement above and beyond the original maintainer writer of the code actually going through and doing those changes, right? So just a real quick breakdown on open source. So that's why I like open source. And it instills community, right? Because you can get a lot of people working on one project, cross-checking ideas, kicking things around. So I think it's a really good tool to inspire community. So those are kind of the main reasons I like open source a lot. And open source is generally much more or less expensive, and most times it's free or it's donation, what you would call quote-unquote donationware. So you buy it, you try it, you like it, you throw the guy some money, or maybe you donate time, right? Maybe it's not money that you donate. Maybe you're a coder and you want to donate time. You say, I really like this software, I want to donate some time to help in with documentation. Maybe you're not a programmer, so maybe you're a programmer, you want to help with fixing bugs or code reviews or whatnot, right? Maybe you do that. Or maybe you want to donate, you're not a programmer, but you want to donate in some way, so maybe you donate time to go through documentation and write down how the software works. You know, try to help them tighten up their documentation so they have good articulate documentation. All kinds of ways you can help. Anyway, I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent there, but anyway, I prefer open source stuff, and I try to even use open source stuff on Windows. Windows and Apple, closed source. Operating systems, closed source. Most of the programming interfaces, closed source. You got to go through hoops to get hooks into their APIs in order to even, get stuff. It's a real, from what I understand from other people, from other programmers I've talked to, it could be a very messy process to do any kind of development work against Windows or Apple. You basically have to buy into their ecosystem to develop anything against their stuff. Microsoft's coming a bit more open source lately, actually a lot more open source lately. Their whole .NET, ASP.NET, .NET Core framework, their C# language, their F# language, all of those are now open source languages. So you can actually use those languages to develop for Windows without having to necessarily buy into the whole Windows ecosystem. Apple is still pretty much Apple, right? So anyway, with the technology, a lot of times it's hard for these technologies to communicate with one another, and My thought is that not maliciously, but certainly by design, it's set that way. I mean, these are businesses, right? Apple's a business that's trying to make money, selling you a hardware platform. Windows is a business. Actually, Apple's a business that's trying to sell you a hardware platform with specific software that runs on their hardware platform. But they're predominantly trying to push hardware and software that's compatible with their hardware. Windows is a software platform and operating system programs and whatnot that is looking to sell you a software platform to work with, an operating system to make your computer run, right? They're trying to do all that. By design, their business model dictates that they have to get as many users using their products as possible in order to make money. So I'm not saying it's a malicious intent, but they don't make it very easy for one to talk to the other. So the issue that I ran into earlier was that I recorded my video last night on my iPhone, and it literally took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours to figure out how to get it from my iPhone just to get it to my computer. So I do most of my work now off of my work laptop because it's easy. It's a Lenovo T450, I think. Pretty good. It's I believe it's 8 gig of RAM, good horsepower, i5. It's not the super fastest computer in the world, but it gets the job done. It's lightweight. I don't have to run upstairs to boot up my computer at home or log into that whole system. So I want to upload these videos to YouTube. Well, there's not really a good way other than plugging the dang phone into the computer using a lightning cable to get the damn videos off my phone into my Windows PC, unless I want to upload them to iCloud or iCloud Drive and then put iCloud Drive on Windows and then download them there. I don't want to go through all that syncing crap, right? So it took me a little bit of time to figure it out. I guess the gist of this whole message is, excuse me, I got a weird notification pop up there. I guess the whole gist of this message is that it frustrates me that these technologies haven't gotten to the point where they can work together in a way where they can allow one to communicate with the other more easily than they have in the past. It still seems like there's a stumbling block, and I really believe it's all related to their business models, but I believe we're in a world now where people are going to choose the most appropriate choice, and there's a lot of people in the world today that just want a tool that works, right? And they're going to buy into a specific ecosystem, but they're going to want the choice of the right ecosystem. So a lot of people are going to choose Windows as their desktop platform, especially a lot of corporate people, because a lot of corporations use Windows still. But on the mobile platform, Apple still seems to be the predominant and best and most widely used mobile platform. So if at least the two of those could find a way to talk to each other a little bit better. Like, for example, AirDrop's a perfect example. You can use AirDrop. My cousin does it all the time. He records the video on his iPhone, he AirDrops it to his Mac, so it does a wireless connection, phone to phone over AirDrop, drops the video on his Mac. He can edit it on his Mac and then upload it from his Mac to YouTube. They don't have an AirDrop client for Windows. That would solve a lot of problems. If you could use if there was some sort of an AirDrop kind of client feature, and if any of you guys know of one, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to try it out, something that would do something similar. To me, that seems like something simple. I mean, all these phones connect, all these devices have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth built into them and all that. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard to create some sort of connection where I could say, okay, drop this video from my iPhone to this folder on my Windows PC so that I can work with it. Why do I have to dig around for a plug to plug it in? Why do I have to sync it to iCloud just to pull it back down to my Windows box? Does not make any sense. Anyway, that's kind of like my little rant for the morning. It went on a little bit longer than I wanted to. I'm trying to keep these videos at around, between 15 to 20 minutes long. So I hope you all have a great day. If you like the comments, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Leave any comments or criticism below. All that stuff's really helpful and really useful. And have a great day.